Mr Speaker, I'm dismayed that I have to stand and take a call on the Education Freedom of Association Amendment Bill. This is a bill that should not be before Parliament, that we should not be dealing with. But I would be very interested to know, Mr Speaker, what John Key would have to say about this bill if he had the time to come down to the House and take a call on it. The reason why I wonder that, Mr Speaker, is because John Key is a pragmatist. He has built his reputation on being a pragmatic chap who does what's necessary, what's right, and he's open to anything that works. And if ever there was a time, if ever there was a need for pragmatism, this is it. Because this is not a pragmatic bill. This is ideology, pure and simple. It has been introduced to the House by one ideologue who I don't think was particularly interested in it, and then it's gone back to the original drafter of the bill, another ideologue, who is not representing the voice of students. We haven't had some great outpouring from university and polytechnic students crying for this bill to be put through the House. This is a fop from the government to their minority support partner and to the tiny number of students who belong to ACT on campus. I think the entire number of them are in the Speaker's Gallery this evening. But how will a new student respond to the environment of a voluntary student association? That's the question we really need to think about. What is this going to mean in practical terms for students? A new student arrives at university. They are going to get hit with a bill before they even arrive there, and in part of that bill it may say, here's an option that you may or may not have to take up. It's your student association levy. They have no idea what the student association is. They've got course fees. They have got living costs. They're probably going to have to borrow against their loan for living costs. They are facing years and years of debt. They are going to try and find any possible way to keep that debt down. They have no idea what the Student Association does because the Student Association doesn't have the resources and shouldn't be wasting its resources on marketing to potential students. So what we will see is students who have no idea what choice they're making. They have no idea they are not making an informed choice. They will turn that down, and student associations will find it very, very hard to recruit new members before they even have a chance to go to them and tell them what the services are that they provide. This is the death of student associations. It is the death of organisations that provide a vital service in the universities. And Mr Speaker, even the tertiary institutes, the universities and the polytechnics hate this bill. They don't want this bill. They are opposed to this bill because they value what student associations bring to the tertiary environment. And they don't just value it, they see the services that the student associations provide as absolutely necessary. So necessary that the universities will step in and replace some of those services if the Student Association folds. Now that's very noble of the universities, but it does present a number of problems. First, in most practical terms, is the costs for students. Students who are already facing massive costs, who have a lower potential to earn, they have low incomes, and they are going to get hit by a higher cost because they might be able to turn down the student association fee, but what they're going to get is a much, much higher student services fee because the university will have to step in. They will have to step in to make sure that students have representation. They will have to step in to make sure they have advocacy. Many student associations support the healthcare services on campus. The university will have to step in and do that. The student association can do it for a lot less than the university can because they rely on a volunteer base and on people who are paid but are paid a lower income because they appreciate the experience that they get from working at a student association. The university won't be able to do that. They will have to pay a proper wage and that will drive those costs up. Second, the students will have no say in the setting of that levy and how that levy is spent. I know not too many students bother to make it along to their annual general meetings, but they have that option available to them now. They can have a say in how that money is spent. That will be taken away from them when the university has to take over running those student services. So the students are not only having to spend more, they're having their rights and their say in how their money is spent taken away from them. And all this for choice and freedom of association. What ideological claptrap we're hearing from the ACT Party. The other problem with the university taking over is that it presents them with a massive conflict of interest, because the advocacy services and the representation that they provide are absolutely vital. If a student finds themselves in a disciplinary process or up against the academic council or any of those sorts of processes, they need representation. Who does that work at the moment? The Student Association. That is a free service that is provided to their members. The university or the polytechnic, they will have to step in. That presents a massive conflict of interest, because they will not only be providing the advocacy for that student, but they will be the other party in the disciplinary process. The student associations are completely independent, and that independence brings a robustness to those processes that will be completely lost if this bill goes ahead. It is absolutely ideological claptrap. Nothing more, nothing less. And the National Party has bent over backwards to let the ACT Party have their say, and let's be honest, to restore a little bit of mana for Heather Roy within the ACT Party. That's what this is all about. Where are the pragmatic amendments? The National Party of Pragmatism under the Lone Ranger John Key, maybe that's the problem. John Key's the pragmatist, but everybody else isn't, and they actually favour this ideological approach. Where are the amendments? Submitters who came and spoke against the bill offered up a number of amendments that would have just lightened its touch a little bit, would have made it a little bit more sensible, would have made it a little bit more usable, and wouldn't have had that same kill-off aspect that it does on student associations at the moment. They offered up ways of introducing more accountability and transparency. They offered up options for clarifying objection to membership. Where are those amendments that could have been offered up by the Select Committee? Where is the pragmatism? What happened to those very sensible ideas that were promoted by people who submitted to the bill? Mr. Speaker, 4,837 submissions, 98% opposed. I would have thought John Key would have come down here, stuck his finger in the wind and gone, you know what, the political winds are blowing against us here, chaps. I think we probably better get on side with the students. But no, the pragmatic National Party is bending over for the ideological ACT Party. What is the sum total of this bill? It will increase costs for students. That is about it. It will take away their voice. It will take away their ability to group together collectively and to have a voice in government decisions that affect them. It will take away their advocacy services. It will take away some of the fundamentals that students hold dear, the ability to go to events at a reasonable price, the ability to use the gym at a reasonable price. Student clubs and societies, sports, drama, debating clubs, they'll all be gone. Counselling services, legal help, financial assistance. Mr. Speaker, it is true, I am a former Student Association president, and I really appreciated the ability to support students in hardship. That service is under threat thanks to this bill promoted by the ACT Party and the National Party. Mr. Speaker, Labor has a very clear position on this, and let me spell it out. The only sensible part of this bill is that it won't be enacted until the beginning of 2012. That's after the next general election. And if Labor is in government after then, we will repeal this. We will be on the side of students. We will be the people of pragmatism and common sense that is so sorely lacking from the government, and this absolutely ridiculous bill that is a fundamental attack on student rights.